Hi everyone, welcome back to Curriculum Mapping with G Suite. This weekend I was inspired to build out the third feature of the Curriculum Mapping Tools internal add-on. So the piece that I was able to successfully build last night was the ability to attribute outcomes to each individual unit planner according to the subject area. So in our case, each subject area has a different set of dispositional outcomes, and I had to make the add-on smart enough to be able to first identify what's the subject area, and then also figure out if outcomes have already been attributed or not to that specific unit. So I'll give you an example, and then I'll show you some of the anatomy of how it's structured. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick a recent one. Here's one that was updated recently as June 1st. So this is in the arts. So when I open this up, and if I go to my add-ons and I launch the curriculum mapping tools, I can see attribute outcomes. And here we go ahead. We launch the add-on and it opens the Google form collecting the outcomes for the arts. And I built the form in such a way where there's minimal scrolling. You're basically paging through each of the sections of the outcomes. So this is one way to kind of minimize the scrolling part of a Google form. And that's that. So I'll close that one up, and then let's just go ahead and look at another one. Here's world languages. I'm going to open up curriculum mapping tools, attribute outcomes, and we'll see here that has opened up the world languages outcomes, and it's the exact same procedure. So how does this all work? The first thing I did was I created a new Google Sheet, and I had imported the document ID and the subject area from the Autocrat sheet. Now the reason I chose the Autocrat sheet because that is more static than the file cabinet view, right? Because units may be taken in and out, and that would throw the alignment out for pre-filling every Google form. So these links are generated via a script that will pre-fill the document ID into the Google form. So I had to be sure that this column remained static and not changing. So that's why I pulled from the Autocrat response sheet as well as the subject area. Then I created a table for each of the form IDs for all of the subject areas. So they all have their own Google Forms, and I was able to pull that in with an array formula, just looking up the subject area and pulling over the corresponding form ID. So this is necessary to be able to build that pre-filled URL. And then the URL that's actually referenced in the add-on is the published URL, because this one is basically making a choice that if the edit URL is filled out, use that one. If not, use the pre-filled URL. So in other words, when outcomes are already submitted, it will choose the edit URL. And I think I have an option like that on line 71, just as a sample. So here we can see this is the English pre-filled URL. This is the one that's been submitted, and the add-on would return this one. So we can see if I go through next, it's going to know it's already, the outcomes have already been selected for this specific unit, and they could be modified. Great. So the biggest challenge in all of this was figuring out how to look up the edit URL in all of the different sheets. And I was able to do that. I just learned this weekend, that your VLOOKUP formula can actually look up a search term in multiple tabs simultaneously. So this was something I didn't know that Google Sheets could do, but I basically was able to line up the range of all of the subject areas and do a simultaneous search and bring back any edit URLs that were located there. So when I launched the add-on, it is actually referencing the data on this particular Google Sheet, and it's looking down for the active document ID. So it first identifies the ID of the document that's open, the unit planner that's open, and it looks down this column for a match. And once it finds a match, it returns an embedded Google form with this URL in the sidebar. So it may seem complicated, but it's actually performing a fairly simple task. And this is essentially how all of the other add-ons in the Curriculum Mapping Tools add-on functions. But I just thought I'd share that insight with you. And I've made the add-on available to our faculty and staff on the landing page of the curriculum map. So I hope you've enjoyed the video and the idea. Thanks for watching. Bye.